Tracy, I just sent you the link.
Okay, I'm waiting on it to come through.
I don't think the minutes of the executive session were given to us, right? Shared with us. Is that right? I know you got them, Gay, because I sent them. I don't, were they posted to the cloud share?
No.
Okay. Do we need to, we don't need to see those. I mean, is that
I
part of?
don't think so, because
There was one case that we tabled,
yes.
but that's not in the regular minutes. I don't know, maybe, did I put that in the regular minutes? I don't think
Okay, guys, you're live streaming.
Okay.
Okay.
The meeting of the Clinical Laboratory Personnel Advisory Committee will be called to order at 14:42. It is on Zoom. Any public comments can be made at publiccomment@lsbme.la.gov. Dr. Van is monitoring that, and he will let us know when a public comment is received for us to hear it. We'll begin with roll call for the members. My name is Gay Brunson. I'm the committee chair. Yolanda Bennett.
Here,
All right, Richard Bridges. I saw him earlier.
here.
All right. Larry Broussard.
Here.
Angela Foley.
I'm here.
Melissa Hamilton.
I'm here.
Jessica Lassiter.
Here.
Belinda Carmen Walker.
Here.
Tabitha Whip.
Here.
Okay. Nadlin Rideau.
Here.
Beverly Ogden is absent. Michelle Edmondson.
Here.
All righty. The next item on the agenda is approval of the previous minutes. The minutes were on the cloud share. There's one addition of a member that was present but wasn't listed. And Angela was going to add Nadlin to members present. Was there anything else? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes with the addition of that member's name as present.
I motion.
Motion.
Who was my motion? Who's my motion? Michelle? All right, Michelle motion. Who second?
I'll second Tabitha.
Tabitha. All those in favor of accepting the minutes with the addition as mentioned, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. And we'll add Dr. Bridges back to our members present on roll call. The first item of business is the CEU contract for 2025. Patsy is not here to lead that.
Do we, are you going to have introduction of non-committee members? I don't know. Did I miss that when I was writing something?
I didn't. They told me last time that we didn't have to do that.
You don't have to do that. Okay. Do I not need to put that in the minutes then?
What? The people present?
People present who are non-committee members.
I would.
Okay.
I would list them, but
Okay.
I mean, if y'all, what the committee wants to do, I was just trying to move it along, but they told me last time that we could do a roll call and didn't.
Okay. And I'm sorry, Christo, I don't have your name.
My name is Amy with a Y.
Amy, and spell your last name?
Christ like Jesus with an O.
Okay, I got it. And you are?
I'm the program specialist and executive assistant to Jacinta Duthu.
Okay.
She's replacing Olivia. Olivia's left us and gone on to greener pastures.
Okay. Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you. I got it. Okay, Gay, sorry.
That's okay. The contract for 2025 for the speakers is in our packet. Has everyone looked over that? Dr. Van, are we, do we have to abide by like the state bid laws and all, like everybody else? Did we have to put this on bid or what did we do? You're muted.
It's a state agency to state agency. We do not have to put it out for bid. This is what we would negotiated, and so this is for your approval. If you don't approve it, that's fine. We'll go out and find somebody else to do it for us.
Does anybody have any discussion? So we will need a motion to accept this contract, or y'all have already done?
I do have a question. I do
Okay.
have a question. Dr. Van, if it's state agency to state agency and we don't put anything out to bid, how would somebody outside the state know it was up for renewal?
Well, because just like every year we do this, it renews every year, okay? So if you have any interested parties that want to bid, they can always call us up and say they want to put in a contract proposal and we'll
Okay.
entertain it. Last year we were supposed to get a contractual proposal. It sort of started to come and then it was withdrawn, so we didn't think anybody was interested. We went on to get this approved. If
I
you
mean,
don't
it's
like
okay.
this-
I'm just curious as to if it's never put out outside of the state agencies, how would anybody know that they could entertain bidding for it?
Well, again, this is one of those things that anybody can, if people have had the discussion of letting other people do it. We've asked for contracts. We started to receive the contract and then it was withdrawn last year. Again, we could receive the contract. If you guys want to notice it and send somebody else and not approve it now, that's fine. Will delay the process some, but that's all the difference it makes.
I don't have a problem with the contract. I'm just asking the process. Thank you.
But anybody, again, if they come in at the last minute, it's kind of problematic. But if you want this to happen next year, we can certainly solicit anybody who wants to do it can tell me, and we'll send them a letter saying this is when we need to have the contract proposal, and we'll help you out, get it done.
What will be the cutoff date for applications next year?
Well, I think probably if we're going to be entertaining multiple new contractors, we probably ought to set it up sometime around July.
Why wouldn't we entertain contractors every year for this? I mean, why wouldn't that just be a standard practice? Why do we have to bring that up every year?
Well, because I mean, we don't have anybody knocking our doors down. I want to be honest, okay? Anybody who wants to bid, to get involved can call us up and we'll let them do it.
I'm not agreeing with you saying you don't have anybody knocking doors down if they don't know that is available for a contract. I think that's what Michelle's trying to bring up is if we don't put it out, we don't know if anybody else wants to do it.
Well, we were told last year that there were some parties in North Louisiana that wanted to do it. We got involved with them. They started a contract proposal and then they dropped out. So they obviously know, and they're the only the only group that has ever exhibited any interest. If you don't want to approve this contract, we'll send out notice and we'll do whatever you want to do. But if we don't approve this contract, this is your free CME. You will have to pay for CME if we don't have a contract in place for you all.
Dr. Van, it's not about not approving this contract. There's nothing wrong that I see with this contract. It's just the process leading up to getting this contract. If if by law or by whatever the business practices are, is that you should have to put out an RFP, then this is not being treated the same way. I mean, and allowed other entities the knowledge that it's available to be bid against is all I
Like
was
me to put
bringing
it out
up.
for public bid next year?
I think it
I
should
think
be.
I think that's fair. I don't think everybody knows that that opportunity is there.
We will put it out for public bid next year. I promise you, I assure you that.
And I thought that's what we kind of agreed on in the past. That's the other thing when we asked, I really think that should be standard practice.
It was last year, and the only people that bid on it withdrew. So I didn't see any profit in spending the time to do it. But if you all want to put it out for bid every year, we'll put it out for bid every year. But again, we have a contract that is providing a reliable, consistent service that I would hate to lose because we have a new contractor that may not be able to provide that reliable, consistent service that serves you all and your community. You are the only licensed group in our agency that gets their CME free like this. And I would hate to destroy it for you, but that's your decision.
I don't think it would be destroyed. We still could put it out for bid and choose and that's what I'm going to reiterate what Michelle said. We do not have a problem with who's doing it, but that's a good portion of money that's not being put out to bid. And there may be someone else that can do about the same job.
The contract doesn't fall under RFP guidelines, though. I mean, we don't necessarily have to do it. I know when it was discussed with Dr. Bannon last year, it was something that we made available to the public. But I mean, these meetings are public as well. So anybody who has an interest in the CLP advisory committee or even doing the CEUs that are privy to the meetings would have access to know that that contract comes up yearly. So
Well, we will notice it January 1st. Okay, close July. And if we get, and we'll present all the contracts to you.
All right. Do we have a motion and second to accept this current contract for the 2025 CEUs?
I move that we accept the contract.
All you're doing is approving it. It'll be accepted by the board. You all are approving the contract and recommending to the board that it be accepted.
I move that be approved through this committee to be sent to the board for acceptance.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I
Who was
lost.
that? Who
Who
was
was
the second?
I'll second it.
Madeline.
Just for the record, I am no longer employed by LSU. I think in the past, I probably should have recused myself from voting on this contract, but anyway, now that I'm no longer, and I don't want to, I'm recusing myself from voting on this contract, okay? Just in case I would ever want to possibly submit a session for CE. Can I do that? Or is it because I'm on the committee?
I think it would be because you're on the committee.
So even if I recuse myself from the vote and I'm no longer employed by LSU, am I still not eligible to do a presentation?
It's not a presentation. It is the operation of the entire course, the tracking of who takes it, the reporting of who takes it to CE broker. All of these things are in the contract.
No. I mean
That's not
to
her
be
question.
a presenter, to be one
That
of the
would-
session presenters. Because
That
I
would
was
be up to
told,
the contractor to decide who they will be a session presenter. You can.
well, I thought it was governed by state law.
We wonder if it's a conflict of interest for the money that we are voting on to be paid to a committee member if she's a presenter.
It's between the contractor and the committee member. She's going to provide she may be able to donate that service. She can
Oh,
certainly
no,
donate.
I don't want to
that service.
donate. I want to get paid. If I can't get paid, I'm not doing it.
Well,
No, that's
we'll get
okay.
The board is not paying you. The board is
The board is not
paying you,
paying you.
LSU would be paying you, like
LSU's
Dan
paying you.
said.
We're not paying you, okay?
So yeah,
We're
could
paying
do it.
LSU. They can decide who they want and who they
What-
pay.
Because I'm on the committee, is under the state ethics law, is it,
The best way to
Yes.
solve this, Angela, I'm gonna cut to the chase. Write exactly what you want the ethics board to rule on, send it to the ethics board, and they will give you an opinion that you can take to the bank. If they
Okay.
say yes, you've done it in advance, nobody will ever complain. If you don't do it in advance and they say no, it's too late. But if you put it in advance, right, send it tomorrow if you want. I'm a member of the advisory committee to the LSBME for clinical lab. I have functioned as an instructor in clinical laboratory practices at LSU. May LSU pay me to give classes for CEUs under the contract that LSU has to provide that service to the board and its licensees.
okay, and for clarity, I will say, just for the record, I am recusing myself from the vote, okay? Just in case, I don't even know if I even want to do it. I'm just asking, okay?
But again, the only way you can get an opinion that you can take to the bank.
Right, is to get it from the ethics
Committee
board.
give you that
Okay.
opinion.
Ethics committee, okay.
Okay, are we ready to vote on the motion that Michelle presented? All those in favor of recommending this contract to the LSBME, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Right, motion carries. All right, the next topic was CEU speaker approvals. On September 4th, the list was sent to me with the topics, and I told them they looked fine and approved them and sent them back. If it doesn't need to be done in that way, I need to know.
That's fine.
Okay. All right, next is CE Broker. Are there any additional providers that we need to add to CE Broker? Has anyone received any complaints regarding CE Broker?
I've got one change in name.
Okay.
AACC is now ADLM.
Larry, if you would send the initials and what each stand for to me, I will communicate that change to CE Broker and make sure that they recognize the new name and stop recognizing the old name.
Okay. I think in CE Broker, it may be listed the new name and then in parentheses, the old name, but
Well,
I think-
didn't look, but with your letter, I will make sure. I will verify.
okay. Thanks.
You shoot me an email and I'll take care of it.
All righty. The next item is law changes. This will be regarding a legislative author for the bill number, what was the bill number?
Well, it's
it
not,
doesn't matter, it'll have a new bill.
he'll have a new bill number.
All right, Patsy, I think you had some information on that.
Actually, I hear, and I don't know, Dr. Van, that we're encouraged to get a author.
No,
And
the method we're going to use this year is we have been working very closely with LDH at their request and consequently very closely with the fourth floor. And so we are going to present our entire legislative package to them, have their support for everything, and then they will pick the authors because we believe if LDH and the fourth floor have decided what they're going to carry for us and who's going to carry it, it's going to be much more effective than if we do it. So we're going to try and leverage every ounce of our cooperation with LDH to get these things done.
okay, I would like, I would hope it's an author. I think last year was a fiasco.
I can't argue with it. It was a number of reasons it was a fiasco, but nonetheless, this is going to eliminate that because we're going to have people that I'm hoping by the end of December, will have been determined who's going to carry it. And we'll have the bill written at that time and it'll be done because we're working very closely with LDH on a number of legislative issues for the board. Yours is one of them, and we're going to get them all in one package. I think it's the most powerful way to get what we want.
Okay. Is it possible for Gay as the chair to attend a meeting with LDH about this?
I'm not sure it's necessary, but it's always possible.
I mean, I'd like the committee, I suggest the committee has some direct input if possible.
And be represented to, answer any questions.
Yes, just to make everything clear and if there are any problems.
Fine, Ms. Gay's welcome to attend, not a problem.
Okay, and like, when is that gonna be? And,
It's when they call the meeting.
okay, and you will let us know.
When the meeting is set and it's set, we go and I'll let Ms. Gay know.
That'll be perfect.
Is this a Zoom meeting or you have to be there?
No, we go up
physically
there in
present?
person.
Okay, if you can't go, you can appoint somebody to go.
Okay.
I mean, I know it's hard from Shreveport. But I think we need somebody that really knows a lot about the law, that's been involved, that can answer the questions that they might have.
Well, Patsy, why don't we take you?
Okay, I'll go.
If Gay can't make it, we'll take Patsy.
Okay.
Well, how about if can both of them go?
I think, let me explain this to you. I think one of them is all we're gonna need.
Okay.
I'm good either way.
Alexa, Alexa's got a different viewpoint on this. And in that respect,
Different Heavens YouTube
I would like her to, sorry, my Alexa is talking. Alexa, stop. Okay, whatever your name is.
Miss Little.
I think Miss Little. I think you've got a different viewpoint that I think for our profession is very important. I would hope that Alexa could attend as well.
I can't invite a lot of people that work for LDH, but I can ask that they invite Alexa.
That would be, okay, that's fine. Is that good with you, Miss Little?
Yeah, my role would just be to maintain that whatever you're proposing with the law doesn't conflict with federal.
Yeah. Because I know what you do, a lot of the licensure stuff affects how you do your job. So, I think that might be helpful. So yes, I'll be glad to go.
And I will tell you that Miss Alexa has already established herself and her criteria with the Surgeon General's office, and they are very pleased to have worked with her in the few times they've worked with her. So,
well, that's good.
So can I ask a question as well? When this meeting occurs, will the bills already have been drafted? Or
yes.
Okay, so people are working as we speak to draft these bills, or?
Yes.
Okay,
Will we
so
get to see them?
I guess my last question is there support from LDH for the changes to the licensure law and support for clinical laboratory personnel licensure in general? Do we know that?
I will tell you that there is support for licensure in general. There is support for expeditious licensure, and we are working on that, as we've talked about in the last month. And I think that there are issues that Ms. Alexa has been working with LDH and met with actually I think the Deputy Surgeon General talked to Ms. Alexa about the issue of the perfusionist and who can and cannot do CLIA-waived testing. And the parties that are pushing it, namely the lobbyists for the plasmapheresis labs, are always coming up with creative new ideas around the law. And Ms. Little is working with that. And so we are supporting Ms. Little's work in that regard. And We have the ears of the people involved, and I think they're gonna support us. We kind of went over a few things, and they said if we need a change in the law, we'll work with you all. But in terms of them seeing the bill, no, they haven't seen it yet. I don't think that we're gonna have a problem. But again, I never know till we start talking about the real bill, and Ms. Wilton is working on it, and when it's done, we'll talk to them about it.
Is there, okay, I'm gonna ask again, is there any chance that once Ms. Wilton finishes the bill, drafting the first draft of the bill, that we could see it before that committee meets?
You'll have to call another meeting. And I would prefer it to be an executive session. I do not want to tip our hand about anything to the people that might oppose it. But
That's great. I mean, what do y'all think about having an executive committee session just to look at the proposed bill?
It would not be to look at the bill, it would be to get legal advice from counsel on the bill.
I think that would be our last chance to have any discussion before it's turned over.
Oh, well, okay. Well, my question was to actually look at what Ms. Wilton drafts along with whatever the legislator, I guess, that she would work with, because isn't that the way it's done?
We're doing it a little bit differently this year than we did last year because the legislator we're working with didn't read all of his emails and read what we were trying to tell him. This year, we're going to work with the LDH people and the governor's office to get the bill passed in whatever form we submit it to them. It's not going to be as something that they're going to edit.
Who's going to edit? They?
The carrier, the maker of the bill will not be editing the bill.
Okay. Okay.
What's the committee's feelings about having an executive session meeting for council with Ms. Wilton before the?
I think we should, I think it's a good idea,
I think it's a good idea.
but I'm not on the committee, so y'all vote on it.
I agree. I think it's a good idea.
I think it's a good idea, but I also think we should have a fallback in case we can't have a quorum for an executive session. And to me, the fallback would be if the people who are going to attend are satisfied with the bill and we cannot get a quorum, then I'm okay with going with their recommendation.
Well, I was under the impression this executive session would occur before Ms. Wilton and Dr. Collada meet with the LDH. Like
Right.
we would, be
Oh,
able,
okay.
Yeah.
I
And
was thinking
Larry,
the opposite.
since we,
after.
yeah, okay, but I think it would be before. And since we've been meeting by Zoom and have, public meetings like this, it
No
hasn't
problem.
been that difficult to get quorums. Is that correct, Patsy?
We have had no problem getting a quorum since we can meet like this.
Yeah.
So I'm
Dr.
sure that
Collada?
we're gonna be able to get a quorum. And this is really important, so I know everybody will try their best to be involved. We'll get a date that we can get the very most people we can.
Dr. Collada, what's the time frame for the legislative session?
Well, I would like to have this in the hands of the fourth floor by the end of this year, calendar year. And so that we can make the decisions as to what members of the leadership group are going to carry this. I'm hoping to have either one of the chair or vice chairs of each of the health and welfare committees do it, but it's going to really be up to the leadership at LDH and the fourth floor to decide.
Can I ask you, what is the fourth floor?
The governor's office, Angela.
Ah, okay. Well, all right. Thank you. I should have known that. I can't put in the hands of the fourth floor in the minutes.
Yes, you can.
Well, I could, but yeah, okay. So, oh well, do we have any feeling about how the governor, how is he receptive to, or does he's probably not even aware of our.
He is aware. We've made him aware. I have made them aware personally. They are
Okay.
very receptive to working with us and we're getting us everything we need. But again, we had a bill that you approved. I don't think we're going to change it much from last time, but we'll have it ready.
Wait, we never had a bill that we approved last time.
We had a bill that you all approved that we submitted and was edited by the maker of the bill that we asked to carry it, and I'm not going to make that mistake again.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't have called it a bill. We had a
document.
the work product of Patricia Wilton is what we
Right.
said.
Which was in the format of a drafted bill that they would have to give a number to, submit it, put it in the hopper, get a number for it.
Right.
So it'll look very much like that document.
Okay. All right. So you're saying by the end of December?
If I have my way, yes.
Mhm.
Well, Dr. Van, if Ms. Wilton gets it done, before the end of the year, let Patsy know, and we can try to get a quorum for executive session to review it.
I'm going to try and, let me say this to you. We're all kind of busy from a number of changes at this office. In case you haven't heard, we've accepted the resignation of Dr. Cresswell. We have a new interim DOI. We're making a lot of changes in that area. We're making a lot of changes, as I talked to you last time, in licensing. But if Ms. Wilton can get it done, as soon as it is done, I'll set to Patsy. Let's have a meeting ASAP.
Okay. All right. Very good.
Good.
So I guess that's it for the law changes. The next topic on the agenda is old business. Dr. Van, I may have misunderstood, but I thought last time you were going to share your PowerPoint with us so that we would better know how the process for licensing works. Will you be able to do that?
I thought I sent it to you all.
Yeah, he did that the last
I
meeting.
did that last time, and I thought we sent it to people who asked for copies.
Oh, I didn't get it.
I apologize. I thought everybody who asked for a copy got one. I'll dig it up. Hey, hang on a minute. I may be able to retrieve it right now if you want to see it again.
But
Well,
I
no,
thought
you'll
he,
just share it.
I thought he went over that thing at the meeting. It was a PowerPoint.
Yes, I did, but we'll go over it again. It's not a problem.
No, we just had asked for a copy of it to look at later so we can move on.
Okay, I'll find it and send it to you, Ms. Kay.
Okay.
Just sent to make sure I do that by tomorrow morning if I haven't done it already.
Okay. Thank you. The last time we discussed some issues with granting licenses, and one of them was possibly trying to change the dashboard so that the applicant could not manipulate the dashboard. Did that happen?
Well, we're not even going to be bothering with that. Let me say what we're doing so you'll know. Nobody will be able to apply until all the required documents are uploaded in the online application. That will prevent us from chasing documents. So if you are required to upload your certificate of certification and that's there, fine. If you have a name that's different on your certificate and your driver's license, you have a name change document, we need to see that. All of the attestation document, if you have an explanation for any yes answers, that's going to be all there, so we don't have to run anything down anymore. And since we're going to be very, very stingy about temporary licensing or temporary permits, we're going to go to you're certified and you're licensed. And if you're not certified, you can't even begin the process. Once all of those documents are uploaded, then you'll be able to pay to process your license. At that point, very shortly, you will receive an email to get the criminal background check. This is for initial licenses, not the renewal. And then that is usually taking anywhere from 2 to 5 days once the applicant goes to the now 22 locations in the state to get their fingerprints done. So we've turned that into from 3 months to less than a week on most cases. And I think this front loading and certification, we don't have to chase down Dean's letters and we don't have to change all the things. I'll be working with Patsy with the 3 different certifying agencies we have to make sure that we make sure that they're all primary source verifiers. And if they're not, those are the only people that will have to submit their stuff as part of their application along with their certificate. And that will maybe make them a little harder work to do. But once it's done, once everything is on there and they've verified that it is the correct document in each of the required spots, then they can pay for the application and we will process it. We're also going to be putting a note. If you upload the wrong document, you will have anywhere from a 2 to a 3 month delay on license. Because again, I mean, Larry, maybe you ought to tell me your recent experience with this. Help me out, Larry.
Yes, I had a request from a lab manager to check on someone's application. The applicant claimed that they had submitted everything and that the last thing they submitted was their birth certificate. Well, when we checked, they had not submitted it. And actually it had been, the time had passed to where their application was not in progress. So in that case, it was the applicant not submitting everything. I was going to contact you, Dr. Collada, to tell you that I've received a message today that the applicant has submitted everything. I can't verify that.
Oh, so they say.
They always say that.
What about things that are required to be notarized? I know I've had.
We're not going to have any, we're eliminating notarization. For
Okay.
each document that used to require a notarization, there will be a statement that says the applicant verifies the truth and accuracy. If found to be inaccurate, they're subject to disciplinary action, loss of license, or reapplication process. And that way they'll know. If you lie, you could lose your license.
Dr. Van, you said something about they must be certified and licensed.
No, they must be certified to grant a license.
But then you also said that in the same context of temporary licenses.
We're not going to have any more of those.
Oh,
Those are going to go away.
Who voted on not having any more temp licenses for sure?
The board. This is going to be across all of our license classes. We're starting with the MDs. We're moving across all 14 classes. This is simply because it is going to eliminate work for us. It's going to quicken the process to get licensed. In other words, an LDH supports the idea that if you haven't passed your certification exam, you shouldn't be taking care of patients.
When is this going in effect?
I think for you all, it'll probably be sometime 3rd or 4th quarter of 2025.
So have you checked with our licensing, our certification agencies to see how soon they can get those exams to you? Because they're not going to send them to you until they verify their transcript, which means many months until they're able to work in the lab.
If you think it means many months for them, it means many months for us. And I'm tired of being accused of not doing our jobs because we're waiting on the same data that the certification agency is waiting on. So now it's going to be the certification, and that way we can move on. That way we don't have to chase it down. I'm tired of chasing paper for people who do not cooperate and then getting blamed because we are not fast enough. We will be much faster. We could anticipate anywhere from a 10 to 20 day license cycle in this new system.
So this committee, when we had our review for the update of the law, voted to keep temporary licenses. When did the board renege on, or when did they change that, and when were we going to know?
Well, I told you last time we were going to be doing this. I'm telling you this time we're going to be doing this. We discussed this at the last meeting, the front loading and the requirements for certification to get
I'm
everything.
talking about temporary license that even though we requested it in our bill, it's
Again,
been removed.
We are going to operationalize temporary licenses only in dire healthcare emergencies. We'll still keep it as a possibility, but it's not going to be in lieu of waiting to get certified. We now have cases of licensees that have not ever been certified, but have continued to work, and we've had to discipline them. And it's because nobody follows up on temporary licenses. When they expire, the hospitals aren't even checking on them.
Ours are.
Yours may be, but we've got cases that they're not. So we have to set, we're trying to standardize our processes so that we don't have anything that is unique, that expedites your students getting their license. And this way, when they give us their certificate, their certification, we can process it. If they're primary source verifiers, we're done. When we wait for the same thing that the certification agencies wait for, you all get upset with us because it takes too long.
No, that's not true. That's not true at all. The students pay, or I'm talking about students, they pay double the price for a temp license, which means you don't have to wait for everything. But they're not
gonna do
getting
that
their
anymore,
temp
but they're not
license.
certified. They're
Correct.
not
But
certified. And we
currently,
want,
currently,
LPH wants
currently.
everybody certified.
currently,
Yeah, that's not true. That's incorrect information. They're not getting their temp license, which doesn't mean they need all the documents. That's what's so aggravating.
Wait, Jessica. The only document that can be missing to get a temporary permit, only thing that can be missing is their certification exam
Correct.
score. They have to have everything else. Now, they don't have a transcript to us. We accept the fact that ASCP makes them have a transcript. So
there's two things.
I take the form that you send to me and you verify that they're eligible. That's all we need. We don't need a transcript.
So that's what's going to go away. And Dr. Van says, well, if you're waiting on that, you're not waiting on all that information for a temp license.
No, we're not waiting
Okay,
on
that's
anything
fine.
but the score.
The board, the board wants people who are certified and not just trained.
and they've already voted on that.
Yes? And I'm happy to bring it back to them and see if they still want to keep it that way, because we'll be doing it at every class. We've been instructed to just start doing it, and we're doing it. And I'm happy when your turn comes up, before I do it, I'll bring it back to the board and say, we'd like you to revisit it. But again, I think the key here is your doctor does not treat you until they have passed their licensing exam and finished their training, both. Okay, and your PA has to finish their certification exam before they get ability to take care of you, even under the supervision of a doctor. So we're trying to apply the same standard that we would apply to protect the public across the board to all our licensing class.
Okay, so I'll be notified when I'm supposed to stop doing temporary
Yes.
permits.
Yes.
So this bill needs to be changed too.
Well, Ms. Wilton and I will make sure that that's addressed. If you want us to put it in the bill, if you don't want us to put it in the bill, if you want me to, I will put it on the agenda for the October meeting, and you can appear gay by Zoom at the meeting and make your case if you want to do it that way.
I mean, maybe you, lab managers and program directors, maybe a few of you should attend that meeting and plead your case. Because it sounds like to me, the problem is the certifying agencies are taking extra long time to do whatever they have to do so that they give the applicant an exam date. Is that right, Patsy? Is that
Well,
right?
they get an exam date before they have a transcript. They have they verify with the program director that person is eligible to take the exam. They then give them the exam date, but they do not release the score until they
Oh.
get a transcript.
Well, and that's not even, that's true, Miss Patsy, but it's not just get a transcript. It takes them weeks to analyze their transcript now, even though it's electronic, and they do not release a score to anyone until at least a month after they've taken that test and passed.
I think that's where the complaint, the lab managers and program directors should complain. I think that's excessive.
So that's why you're
Teaching
saying
people
the
from working.
temporary permit is so important because it takes so long for them to get their scores to get fully licensed.
Yes, ma'am.
Even when they know they've passed the exam, because they
Right.
find out immediately that they've passed the exam.
The students notified that they passed.
Right, I know.
But ASCP will not release that passage until they have evaluated their transcript. And the students now can even see when they received their transcript, but that doesn't matter. It takes weeks.
I'd prefer you all to be complaining to them
I do.
than to our legislators and us.
I do. I think ASCP needs to be
I mean,
be
that's,
faster. I think that's an inordinate amount of time to evaluate a transcript.
well,
But-
truthfully, they've
but-
already let them take the exam and they still feel the need and the need to evaluate a transcript after they've already given them an exam date and let them take an exam. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Well,
But
they're not going to
that's-
release
they're
the score
creative.
until they approve that transcript.
But why do they let them take the exam before they approve?
Well,
the
that doesn't,
transcript?
Because the
to them, that
program
doesn't matter.
director,
Do you want them to wait later and then have to take longer?
No, what I'm saying is they need to expedite that whole process.
I agree.
That's
Well, again, the way we're going to expedite our process is the certifying certificate will be part of the document that's uploaded, and we'll get that and process the application rather. We anticipate anywhere from 10 to 20 days now.
but the students can't upload their certifying. They have to send it directly from ASCP to y'all. So they're not gonna be uploading that. That's directly from ASCP to you.
That's right.
ASCP sends a certificate to all of the students that pass their certification.
No, we do not get certificates anymore. They will not send us, we can log in, but they have to send it directly from ASCP to you, and they have to pay for that.
We talked to ASCP and they said everybody gets a certificate. Well, I wonder why they would tell us that.
They said that people were copywriting it. None of us
Yeah.
get a certificate anymore.
They were copying them, making
Yeah.
Yeah,
false copies.
making false copies.
Or do you get a certificate? When you get a notice that you've gotten your certificate, how do you know you got your certificate?
I log in my dashboard, but I cannot send it directly to anyone else. I have to pay money for it to be sent from one party to the next.
Hey, Jessica, can't you print on ASCP, like, because we have to turn it into our employer, like you can print the paper, but it got like the little copyright thing, say this is not acceptable or whatever.
It says it's not acceptable.
Yeah.
So
Do
it
you
does
get a
not.
number? Do you get a number?
I think you do, but Dr. Van, that means people can change it up. I mean, they've proven that people are making it up, and it's not, that's how we've been doing for years. The student does not
You
send.
understand why I'm concerned about temporary licenses? Listen to all the things you're telling me people in your profession are doing to fraudulently get licenses. And that's why we're sort of afraid of temporary licensing anymore.
So I'm going to speak up, and I've been trying to. The problem with I was not on this committee, and I don't know why it was decided that we're going to issue a temporary license years ago and give whoever 6 months to pass the exam. The process was fine. There was a process that they followed and documents they submit. The problem was they were not getting their temp license from LSBME when they would submit things. So we're missing what we're changing this for. That was the problem, is they were not getting their temp license.
Well, and again, the fault of the board is look, if we have a COVID emergency and we need to get people to work before we can get their certification exam, that's one thing. It's an emergency, and we'll work with that to address the needs of the healthcare community. This is a situation of there's not an emergency, and we want people to be certified. Now, I'll go back to the MTASCP and speak to them again, but they said there is a way you can tell us you have been certified and we can verify it. And I
You know,
thought-
Jessica,
Ma'am.
what if when the program director receives the score sheet for that period, you actually get the score?
Mhm.
Could we take as proof of certification something from the program director sent to us that says what the score is, and then we could go ahead and we know they're certified because the program director has already gotten it. Now, are you getting it before the student? I mean, before they would send it to the board or not? That's what I don't know.
So the
I think we
scores,
get it pretty fast, actually.
I can see their actual score before the student even sees their score.
Right.
Mhm.
Well, they don't know their score. They just know
They
they
know they
passed when they
passed.
leave. But
They won't even give them their score until they've evaluated their transcript now.
right. Okay, but what I'm just saying, I'm trying to do a workaround.
Mhm.
When the
Well,
program director gets the list of all their students and all their student scores, could we as the board take that as proof of certification from the program director?
I would think it'd be the same, kind of the same form I was filling out in the past, the program verification, saying that they
Yeah, it would.
met
That's
all
what
the
I'm-
requirements. You trusted us then.
I do. I trust the program directors. I mean, they could actually send me the report and redact,
Others.
send me the whole report or send it
Or just-
individually or
time for this.
whatever.
Or create a form.
If I had a
form.
list of names, and the scores, then we could not have to wait for ASCP. That's what I'm
So-
And I
saying.
would have to verify that, then I would have to do the verification on the school and the transcript. See, MTASCP, by doing that, we subsume it's done and we don't have to do it. And that's the point. We're trying to make less work to expedite the process, less documents to chase.
How many students that take the certifying exams don't get their certification because of a transcript issue?
I did not ask that question, but when I call MTASCP, I'll ask.
Because I think our program directors are verifying the transcripts before they schedule the students or the students are scheduled for the exams.
So the route that mine are taking it is Route 1, and it's graduating from a 4-year degree NACLS accredited program.
Which means your transcript is correct.
Right. They're not looking at, it doesn't have science requirements or anything for Route 1.
Okay, but again, it's not just, again, just like you alluded to earlier in our discussion about forging the certificate, we have received forged transcripts, okay? So we're trying to get the certifying agency, which is a national reputable agency, they're doing the primary source verification for us, and we don't have to do it and risk dealing with fraudulent information.
You're getting forged transcripts from the university when they have to send it directly from the university to you.
No, the students are trying to send it to us and we're not accepting them.
Well, that's not acceptable.
Well, I understand, but then when they have marked their little thing and they think they've sent everything, but we sent them an email and they've ignored our emails, okay? Because that's the other thing that happens. They may be at lsu.edu email and then they're no longer a student, and then we're still sending that email to them and they're not getting it because they didn't change their email. So we try to tell them, but by front loading it, if that document's not in the application, they can't pay to process the application. It doesn't exist in our records. Once everything is loaded into the application, they'll be able to pay. We process. We send them back the thing to get the criminal background check. And then within usually 10 to 20 days, we can grant a license.
So I'm gonna just say it again, the way that it has been decided, you're gonna do this, it's gonna delay any graduate at least a month or two after they graduate. And Miss Patsy, what you were asking, the program verification form could be adapted where we still fill in all the students' information, their social security numbers on there. And you could say, do you verify that this student has passed ASCP MLS exam? And we sign it and seal it.
Like I said, I'm going to talk to I'm going to call them. I got a note to call MTASCP, and Patsy will give me the other two. We'll get the other numbers for the other two agencies to verify how they do it exactly. But I was told that the students know, they know that they have gotten their certificate and tell us and verify by giving us either the certificate, which they say they can print and keep, or they can send us a number. Apparently they get an ID number for their certificate.
So you're going to just take an ID number?
We would then verify it. If you give me an ID number, it better match. That's why we talk about, remember we talked about the name change? So that if you are, Mary Bell, and then you get married to Smith, and you tell us your name is Mary Smith, but your transcript says Mary Bell, it's going to not work. Okay, that's why we do name changes, to make sure we can coordinate certification exams with the person who it really is. So again, that's the way we're going to try and do it, to make sure that we get the right person if they get a number. Or we were told they could submit a certificate to it, but you're telling me something different. I may have spoken to the wrong person, and Patsy and I will get a conference call with them and we'll work this out.
As far as I know, they don't get a certificate. I mean, to me, I was a program director for many years. Once all the students in a testing period have taken the test, a score report will be sent to the program director from ASCP. I know what those look like. If the program director sent me that score sheet with all their students' names on it, anybody on that list, to me, should be they're certified. I know they
are they certified? Are you telling me that the minute they pass their test, they are certified by the MTASCP?
Not the minute. When they send the report for the group to the program director, which usually takes maybe, I don't know, a couple of weeks.
Well, Miss Patsy, now you can pull the report, and you usually can see grades within a week of them taking it, if not sooner. You can pull it any day. Like I can pull my report
as a program
right now.
director.
Mm-hmm.
So why can't we accept that?
Well, let's talk to MTASCP, and you and I will talk to them. We'll talk to the other two certifying agencies as well, and we'll try and be consistent across the board. The key here is they need to be certified to work.
I have no problem with them being certified. We just don't need to delay it tremendously just because of the certification agency. I don't know who agreed. That was years ago where we had a temp license. We need to figure out where they can go to work as soon as possible.
Well, again, maybe the complaint, as we said earlier, needs to be you program directors giving the MTASCP an earful.
We have. It has been like this since COVID.
Well, and look, we understand, and I can't do. We've had a rash of people who have been practicing on temp licenses, people in other areas, not just laboratory, but lots of our 14 areas where people are getting burned. We're having to discipline people about it. We're getting complaints about it. Hospitals are not doing their jobs. And we have set up the simplest possible way for hospitals to verify anybody's credential, okay? And I will just tell you right now, we get some hospitals that Alexa's got her hand up.
Yeah, I was just going to say, is it possible to kind of get some of these program directors, LSBME, LSCLS kind of get a group of those together to push that to ASCP and explain to them that it's delaying people's, testing personnel's ability to work in the state because of licensure. And maybe if it comes along with the board and or LSCLS, kind of a bigger push behind it, they'll maybe recognize the importance, at least that it's holding up licensure for our state, because I know that's not the case in every state, but I'm not sure if that'll help, but.
Well, let me ask you this. There are only 8 states that license clinical laboratory personnel. If you're in a state that doesn't license clinical laboratory personnel, what do you have to present to the lab manager to get a job?
They
The
have,
diploma.
That would be up to the lab or hospital.
I'm sorry?
That depends on the hospital. The hospital can hire anybody they want without licensure.
But the hospital can say, let me see your I mean, I remember me in the days when Angela and Mimi were very young people, they had to present their certificate to people like Jane White. Show me your MTASCP certificate, okay? And that's how they got hired.
Well, a lot
But
of
some-
places do that.
Yeah.
But some will
don't
not.
care if you have a license, if you're qualified or not.
A
They'll
lot
hire
of
you off
them
the street.
take that. So Jessica was talking about they don't give you a certification anymore. A lot of them will take that watermark verification from ASCP showing the certification and not make them pay to get a certificate. They'll take the watermarked one from the website, from your dashboard.
And we could certainly accept that if MTASCP tells us it's a reasonable watermark that's hard to copy, we can deal with that. I mean, I don't want to be unreasonable, but I think
that they don't get that done. You won't even have the watermark one until they review the transcript, so the delay would still be there.
But Dr. Van, there are other states that as long as the person meets CLIA requirements, CLIA doesn't mention, y'all don't mention certification exams. They just have
That's
education.
why,
like I said,
they
they
want to
will-
have a license.
we
Right.
42 states don't even require a license.
That's why we're trying to be better.
Well, that's why I'm thinking by being better, we're going to be better because and nobody practices unless they're certified.
now, I'm reading on ASCP's website, New York and California they have it set up where ASCP automatically emails to the state licensing board on a weekly basis after completion of examination. So it sounds like you guys need to talk to them and see if they would automatically email you guys.
I'm happy to if they'll do that for us, we'll get it set up.
That'd be great.
Yeah, that would probably.
Angela, you're
be a
muted.
turnaround.
Angela, you were muted.
Right. So can I didn't know how to raise my little hand like Alexa did. That's so nice. But here, this is my hand. So what about transcript verification delays? Why is that not happening in New York and California? That you say is the reason that Louisiana's are getting delayed because it takes ASCP so long to verify transcripts. I don't understand.
Because the students are placing it's a $20 request now, it was 16, to get their scores sent to LSBME. It has not been set up where the LSBME gets it directly from LSBME. So that would save them some money too.
Well, I'm sorry. Did y'all understand that? I didn't get it. I didn't understand. What?
Could you not hear me, or was
No,
it?
I didn't understand it. I'm sorry.
So it's on ASCP's website that they have states for certification qualification. So it divides, let me see if I can find it. For state licensure, they've set up that that New York and California, I have not seen this till now, but they will email a list to the state licensing boards on a weekly basis. The way
Of everybody who's passed the exam.
Yes, ma'am. It sounds
Does
like.
that, is that also
That
include?
before or after they've evaluated their transcripts?
It doesn't say anything. It just
Yeah.
says results for licensure. Only examinations are automatically emailed for New York and California on a weekly basis.
Let us clarify this with them. Patsy and I will work with them to get it done and the other two agencies as well. We will do anything to make it easy, but again, you know, we don't need a license if we're just gonna say you can go to school.
No, but can I say something? If a person comes out of a school like Jessica's, they've been, you know, they've applied to take the exam, and the program directors have told ASCP, the Board of Certification, that they have completed all the necessary requirements to sit for the exam. And Jessica is saying that the delay is that ASCP waits to release their scores to verify their transcripts, but yet they're getting the passing scores. Why couldn't the committee say, and it would have to be, I guess, approved by the board, that if a program director such as Jessica's submits the names of these students, and you know, they have a P next to their name or an F, you don't have to get their scores. That you could redact the scores if that's some kind of violation of
We
privacy.
get the scores now.
Well,
We get the scores.
you do get the scores.
Yeah.
Okay, so why can't we say as a committee, and maybe with the approval of the board, say, once these program directors get verification from ASCP, the BOC, that these students have passed their exams, then we don't have to wait for ASCP to verify their transcripts. We can grant them a license. That's enough.
But they're not certified at that time.
Well, they've passed the exam, and
Well, why don't we let Patsy and I talk to MTASCP and the other two agencies so that we can see if we can standardize this. Because the more you standardize, the more efficient the process will be. And I think Patsy knows from dealing with the three different ones, the more we standardize, the more efficient it will be. And that's our desire, to be
I
as
understand.
efficient as you.
Let me just ask one question. Is there any reason why a person who passed the exam will not be granted a certification by the
That is
BOC?
something, that is the purview of the MTASCP. And I cannot answer that question.
No,
I'll be happy to.
I'm
answer
asking the
that
program director, Jessica, does it ever happen where a student passes the exam and then they are not given a certification?
Not that I know of a certification, no, but now the licensure is, you know, it pulls into your background check and everything. But if we're going to front load that, then that should be done.
Right, well, I'm
We've
not
never
saying all
had
the
one.
other things don't have to be in place.
I do not know of one instance where someone is certified, passes their certification exam, and is not granted their certification.
I don't either.
Again, we need to ask the agency that is doing the primary source verification as part of the certification to be sure, and I'm happy to ask that question. I've written a list of questions down. I'm sure Patsy will have her list of questions. And Patsy and I will get on a conference call with the people at MTASCP and the other two agencies. Because the most important thing is understanding how they do their process.
Jessica, do you know how long it takes your registrar's office to make the transcript available?
So they graduate on a Saturday, and then our degrees are conferred on that Wednesday, and they electronically send them very
That
short, like a
day?
day later, a day or two later. And the students can sign in and see all that now, and they can see the date it was sent. They can see the date that ASCP received it, and they can even see when they open the document. And it's weeks later before they even open the document.
Yeah, so we need to know, why does that process take so long?
Okay.
And if you can get on the same process that the other two licensure states have.
Yeah.
immediately do that, that could eliminate a lot of it.
Well, if they say that they're posting things every week, it doesn't mean that they're posting the ones that just came
don't
in
have a
that week.
transcript.
They
Yeah,
could be a month old. I
they
mean,
may have already evaluated the transcript and then they're emailing the scores after they evaluate the transcript.
yeah, I mean, that doesn't mean that they
But it's
got the transcript in within 1 week they've evaluated it. I doubt if that's true.
but it's worth a try.
Yeah, it is. I agree.
And getting it directly from the source is going to be quicker than waiting to go through two hands to get to the board.
Okay,
Is there any more discussion regarding this topic?
So I'm going to put in the minutes that a group with Dr. Collada and who else is going to meet with, try to schedule a meeting with the BOC?
Well, with the various certifying agencies.
Okay, all right.
it's gonna be Patricia, Patsy and I will do that.
Okay.
Okay, I have a little bit of housekeeping I need to address. First of all, I know we have a little bit of an executive session. And I need to know, I need to tell you all that we have a number of people on this committee who have not done their criminal justice information security course to keep themselves current, to view any of that kind of information. I can tell you that Dr. Bridges has not. I can tell you that Ms. Brunson has not.
Okay.
Dr. Ogden has not.
I did mine in December of last year and I did it again today.
You did it today. Well, again,
But my other one was, they say it's good for 1 year, so I was covered through December of 2024.
well,
but I did it
this
today.
Yours expired. According to them, I have received a report from them. Yours expired in 2023. And if you just did it, that's wonderful. We
I'm
appreciate
done.
it. Okay. Miss Warner expired in 12/22/23. Mr. Broussard's expired in 12/28/23. Angela's expired in 12/31/23. Miss Bennett's expired in March of 24. And that's right now all the people I have that are not current. So if we are going to have anything reviewed today that, and I'll have to ask Ms. Pigford and Ron, if there's anything in there that is the criminal background information, we may have to talk about will we have a quorum. So right off the bat, Ms. Pigford, Ms. Kayette, is there anything in there that is the criminal background information?
Definitely. Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Yes, sir. Definitely. Can you hear me now?
Which case is that going to be?
It's the one case that we have.
We have one case, okay?
Just one case. Yes, sir.
It's the case that we reviewed last meeting and deferred.
Okay.
So everybody saw it last time.
So again, I need you to understand that let's see. So how many people would we have? Okay, if Michelle Werner can't, and Larry can't, Angela can't, and Miss Leonda can't, do we have enough? Do we have a quorum?
How many is in a quorum?
7.
No.
So you have Gay, oh, you said Yolanda didn't. And what about Dr. Bridges?
No.
Dr. Bridges is not current.
Well, then I don't think you have a quorum. Well, no. How many is
Can
a
I
quorum?
ask a question?
Yeah.
Are you talking about the ethics class that we have to
No.
take yearly?
No.
What are we talking
Do we
about?
get notified that we're supposed to do that?
Well, what are we talking about?
We're talking about the federal government's FBI-sponsored Criminal Justice Information Security course.
I don't think I've ever taken that, so I really don't know. And the only one that I've ever done for this committee is the ethics, the Louisiana ethics. So
I understand, and what I'm trying to tell you is that the criminal justice system through the FBI is making it increasingly more difficult about the issues relative to the criminal background checks.
Not a problem.
Okay, I gotta tell you the facts. I mean, we could lose the ability for this agency to do this if we have improper utilization. That's
Did
all.
an email come out asking us to take this class?
We are in the process of sending those, so you should receive one shortly if you haven't already.
Is
I
that the
don't,
one from today? I think from Amy Cristo. Is that the one I got today?
Yeah, I
Yes,
got
that's the
mine
one you
today.
received.
Okay, I got it.
I don't know if I've ever taken that course.
I
I
don't
understand,
question.
and again, understand that every year they get a little bit tighter and a little bit more requirements come upon us. We don't particularly like it. My board members don't like it.
But
But
what if you
we have
never
to
took
comply.
it and you don't have an expiration date? I mean, like, what Jessica said, she's never even taken it. She can't
Well,
have an
Jessica's
expiration
gotta
date.
take it.
It was
But
only
she doesn't have an expiration date because she's never even taken it.
So in the
Jessica-
beginning, it was only required for our board members and our pro tem. But as like Dr. Van said, the security increases, then we have to roll it out to our advisory committee. So some people have taken it, some people have not. But we're getting everybody updated now, and you'll be updated for a year.
Mine, he said mine expired March of 2024. The email I got today, it says my training is due by November 1st of 2024.
Okay, Ms. Yolanda, the report I got from the CJIS is yours expired March the 8th, 2024.
We're not setting the expiration dates to anybody. We're giving you a significant amount of time to take
to
the
get
training. So that's why we said that it's due by November 1st, so we can get everybody updated.
Okay, gotcha.
So again, we're gonna do it this time, but I need everybody to do it before the next meeting, okay? I need everybody, if you haven't done it, you're gonna get an email. If you have done it and it expires, take it. We need everybody to be current because
Okay, can I say something? I saw this in my email. It's asking me for a username and a password. I don't even know what that is for CJIS. That's
So
it.
you should have an email address for Alan. If you cannot log on, please email Alan. He's going to get you taken care of because he can see the backside of CJIS. So
we'll give you the username and password.
yes. So we
So if you
included
have any issues, you call Alan Phillips. Okay, I got it.
It's in the email. Got it.
Yeah,
So
it says training is due by November 1st. Okay, well,
Right.
can we do this executive
Yes,
session?
we're gonna do this one, but I need everybody to understand that we gotta get it done, okay? I don't want you all to think we're not gonna keep you from doing your work, but I've got the federal government down our throats to make sure it gets done.
I'm
Maybe
happy to
this
do it.
Maybe this is something we can report on every meeting to keep everyone up on when they are due, so it won't happen like this again.
Mhm.
We're happy to run the list every time you come. But again, once you get it's like you said, it's good for a year. I do mine every 11 months or so just to make sure I don't run out, okay?
Yeah, that might be something that we'll put Patsy in charge of, running the list if they wanted every meeting, because that's not something that's going to be conducive for us to be able to do every meeting that they have.
We'll figure out a way to get you the information.
When did the federal government make this change?
All right, in terms of my level and the board level, it's been this way for about 2 years. In terms of it filtering down to advisory committees, they're starting to address it now with us, and so that's why we're trying to make sure it happens, because technically, and the way the law reads, and now they're starting to enforce it much more strictly, anyone who sees this information is responsible for understanding the security that must surround it.
Yeah, it's not ethics, it's cybersecurity. Yeah. Okay.
It's
We
not
have to do ethics too, though.
cybersecurity necessarily.
It says cybersecurity.
Yes, but again, it's more than just cybersecurity. You're going to be seeing it perhaps in your minutes. You're going to be seeing it in the agendas, okay? So all of those areas and you're going to be discussing it in meetings. So all of that information has to be treated securely and in a way that protects the data to protect the individual whose data you are looking at.
Okay.
So is
It's
it
not
my
about-
understanding everybody would have gotten an email in the last couple of days?
It's my understanding everybody would have. If you didn't, let me know, Michelle, and we'll send you one.
He's
I
still
got
in the
one.
process of sending them. We're not completely done sending the emails. So
I
you
was
should
gonna say,
get,
I'm looking and cannot find one, so.
I got
I'll
mine
wait-
today.
I'll
Yeah,
wait
me
and see.
too.
If
Yeah,
don't
I
get
have,
them
I
next
don't
week,
have
I'll-
one.
Larry and Michelle need emails, Jacinta.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you real quickly, when you did it, your username was the one you used for the board and your password for the board?
No, it's a different username and password.
So you had to set one up or you called Alan?
No,
Alan's
I'd
gonna
already,
set it up for you.
I just put my email in and it asked me did I want to reset my password. So I'm
Okay.
gonna just
it's your email.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes, if,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, if you've signed up and you've taken the course before, just put your email that you normally use in, and if you don't remember your password, you'll hit forgot my password, and it will
Reset.
send you a password.
Dr.
Um,
Van, my understanding is also we're supposed to be doing the ethics training annually also.
Yes.
Is there anything else besides these two?
I would urge you to take the safe driving every couple of years. I don't need to tell you, all of y'all work in hospitals, so you've already probably taken the state's course on bloodborne pathogens. You have to do that every couple of years. Let's see. The ethics course. If there's anything else, we'll let you know, but I think for y'all, it's the CJIS, the ethics course. And again, it's not as critical as it used to be when you would, you're not driving here to the meetings, but make sure you look at that. And then, of course, your bloodborne pathogens you're already taken. I think you're pretty much, Amy, am I missing anything? You just recently took the whole barrage of them.
Yes, sir. There's government ethics, preventing sexual harassment for all employees, disability awareness, cyber awareness, teleworking, managing teleworking, defensive driving, bloodborne pathogens, PES basics, PES planning, PES evaluation.
those are not all necessary for the advisory committees though,
Yeah,
Dr.
the
Van.
Committees, I think the advisory committees probably need to, we'll ask Ms. Wilton. I don't think you have to take the PES planning and that, because that's really for civil service employees. Whether or not you have to take the disability awareness and preventing sexual harassment, we'll let you know and let you know at that next meeting.
Could someone just send us an email with the list of the ones that we need to update?
Right off to get.
Okay, the bigger issue is we're gonna have to issue you all special numbers. Take most of these courses online, except the ethics course.
You can pay it out.
So we're working on that. And again, it's 3 different ways. You take the ethics course, the Board of Ethics. You take the CJIS through the the federal government. And the rest of these, if you have to take them, you take them through Leo. And if you're a state employee, you know what Leo is. But if you don't, we'd have to get you a special number to do a Leo course.
I just want to know which ones we have to take.
We're gonna get it taken care of and we'll tell you how
That's
to do it.
good. Okay.
Okay. Do I have a motion for us to enter executive
I
session?
move that we enter executive
A
session.
second?
Second. I second.
That's Jessica. All those in favor of entering executive session, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, we're ready for you to move us over.
You see the blue button at the bottom of the screen? It moves you quicker. Is Gay back? Gay, you're muted.
All right, we're back from executive session. Do I have a motion on case number 2024-588? Some of y'all are muted.
I think Angela was gonna make that motion, but she's muted.
Okay.
I make a motion that we, move forward with what the DOI, suggested to grant the license.
Do I have a second?
I say,
I'll second it.
Who's that?
First
Second.
it was Yolanda. Yeah,
Yolanda,
Michelle made the motion to accept the recommendation of the DOI on case number 2024-588. All those in favor of accepting the recommendation of the DOI, say aye.
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 Any opposed?
I couldn't get back into the meeting. It wouldn't allow me to unmute. But anyway, what
All right,
happened?
Motion passed. The motion was made by Michelle, seconded by Yolanda, and I got all yays and no nays
Okay, to grant a license.
to accept the recommendation from the DOI on this case for doing the license. Yes,
Okay,
and we
okay.
vote.
And it's 2024-588.
Yeah, 2024-588.
Okay.
All right, next on the agenda is our next meeting date.
Well, if we're gonna have an executive session, Dr. Van, do you have a date that you'd like to put that where we can also look at the proposed bill?
You're muted, Dr. Van.
Thank you, excuse me. Would that be how about we talk about November 12th through 14th? Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday?
Tuesday.
Tuesday the 12th?
I would rather, I don't know, that's my preference, but everybody else can chime in.
I like that.
We can
Tuesday's
shoot for that and try to get a quorum. If not, move to another
I'll send
day.
out an email and people, y'all can tell me if you can come or not.
Righty, is there anything else to be discussed?
So this next meeting is just an executive session. It's not a public meeting, correct?
It's gonna start out in public session. It will then go
Oh,
immediately
and
to
then-
executive session,
Okay,
convene in public, move to go in executive session, have advice of counsel. Then you will come back and make a recommendation to either approve the bill that we want to submit or not.
okay. Okay, got it.
Okay,
All right, so we're going to shoot for November 12th. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
So that was Yolanda? Who's that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yolanda and Michelle.
And Michelle, okay.
All those in favor of adjourning today's meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you, guys.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.